Good morning, everyone. You're watching live coverage from the Bernese Ladies Cup, coming to you live from the Curling Banalment in Bern, Switzerland. My name is Michael Schifferle, and with me is Armin Harder.
Hello, Michael, and we're here with semifinal action. We have Team Wang of China versus Team Moiseeva. Jing Yima, Jin Lin Lui, Yansu, and Bin Wang for China, and Julia Portanova, Galina Arsenkina, Yuliana Vasileva, and Victoria Moiseeva for the Russian team. Both of these teams are Olympic representatives for their country, so I expect a pretty good matchup here.
That we do. Here you can see the quarterfinal results, how the teams got here. Moiseeva beat Team Christensen from the USA 4-2. Bin Wang beat Team Muirhead, the Olympic team from Great Britain, in the extra end with 8-7, making it the first semi-final. And in the second semi-final, you have the US team Sinclair, who beat Team Felcher from Switzerland, and you've got Team Sidora, who beat the Swiss junior team Kaiser in their semi-final. Here we have the Chinese team in their lineup before the game, followed by the Russian team, the 2016 European champions as well. And the teams have just started. This is the lead's second rock of the first end.
Moiseeva, having qualified direct through the A group without a loss, has the hammer in this game. Team Bin Wang, they took the long route, going through C yesterday.
And we see a classic offensive opening, the Chinese throwing up their center guard, followed by the draw to the button.
Я просто стала поменьше, думала, что у нее так первый не довалил, думала, второй также пойдет.
10秒，10秒，稍微给点劲儿。
This rock has overcurled slightly, allowing the Chinese to play a slow takeout on it, trying to roll in behind cover. Does the job. The red one is removed.
Я 80 уже опять сделала. Фриз тоже хорошо. Фриз тоже хорошо. 7-5, да. Yes, yes. Пока плохо.
Контакт. Контакт. Отыграться надо тогда. Ослабит.
Here we go. Freeze is called.
Очень заслабел.
Да, надо лучше поставить. Во, все, вылезем.
They waited quite a long time to sweep that.
Получился, он пришел туда же, разница 14-13.
So we already got four rocks in play here. Already a great offensive end. Team Wang had to go an extra end against Muirhead.
他那13秒5 13秒13秒500都可以啊。
To win that, Moiseeva controlled her game fairly well. Stole 3-4 times in a row to beat Christensen from the US.
7吧 ，OK，带点后期降速。
In the other semifinal, the Russian team, Anna Sidorova, playing against Jamie Sinclair from the U.S. I'm not sure. I think this is the first time we've seen two Russian teams at a World Curling Tour event in the semifinals. I don't seem to recall one in the past, so quite a good showing there.
It certainly is. Russia at the moment with two top teams in the women's tour. They've got a bit of a selection. They also had, I think for the first time in a real tryout for the Olympics, which Victoria Moiseeva won 4-1. She won 4 games in the best of 7 series against Anna Sidorova. And so we will see a new Olympic team for Russia going into South Korea.
Yeah, Moiseeva, of course, European champion a couple of years ago, so not a total surprise. They managed to go through. As we watch this end get more and more interesting, we got lots to talk about later. We'll keep an eye on this end.
It's interesting to see that normally in the first end, teams would play a little bit more defensive, play some more takeout rocks.
These teams are going right at it.
Oh, yeah, they do.
And, boy, the Chinese can really put the pressure on here by sticking another one in there behind the guard into the forefoot. Moiseeva's got it. Be careful. Right now, Moiseeva very fortunate to have that one on the top of the 12-foot. I think she's going to need that one pretty soon.
She will, yeah.
Looking like a really nice shot again. Whoa. Time to do some house cleaning.
Yeah, I think so.
Get the C4 out.
Throw the big weight down the middle.
She might have to come across this a little bit. Juliana Vasileva. Just a couple of years out of juniors. Skipped her own team there. Joined the Moiseeva team. It's looking pretty good. Lineup's still okay.
Getting rid of one, but the important thing is she's still got 2 red ones in front that she can use.
Probably see a guard. Oh, maybe not. Chinese Pinyu Wang indicating she'd like to pile another one into the forefoot. Well, there's still room for a couple of more. Chinese sitting 2 at the moment. Don't have the last rock.
Sweep is going at that all the way. Here we go, nice placement. There may be an angle to remove both, but
could get all 3, maybe even. Just touch that yellow one on the top of the forefoot, come down onto the yellow, second yellow one, and that'll drive that back onto the chance for a raise triple. Need to have everything go right. There's also a double from the intern side. Maybe even a triple from the inside side even. No, probably not. That'll go over the top
double,
of the,
yeah.
Double for sure. Triple would be possible from the outturn side. So in turn meaning clockwise rotation. The rock. Got to get it past the guard, though, or she's running the guard straight back. Okay. Oh, fortunate there. Hits and rolls into the middle.
she got a bit lucky there. Gives her options for the for her last two rocks.
She needed to move some of those yellow around. I think Moiseeva was starting to order the helicopter to get her last one in there.
Yeah. And you can see the red rock in front of the house that wasn't there before. I think that was the playing stone that she's just played. And that now blocks the raise triple we talked about before.
I think you'll see the Chinese putting up guards now. As we see, or we will shortly see, Wang, skip of the Chinese team, 2009 world champion, and also the Olympic representative for China. She's just going to throw a guard out front on this. There we go. There she is. From Harbin, China. Want to plug up that front a little bit and make Moiseeva's job a little more difficult. That over curled. She didn't want to curl that much. So I think Moiseeva, and those guards are fairly long. We have a lot of curl here, so I think both sides are accessible. The question is which side you want to come in on. Still.
The rock she just threw probably does enough of a job that you cannot throw the big weight down anymore, but you can certainly move some rocks.
Yeah, I think she might have left it just a little too late, but the right-hand side rock is a little more exposed than the left-hand side.
It is.
You can see about 2/3 of that. And the guards are long enough. But like you said, you need enough energy to move those rocks out of the forefoot, so you can't come down with the high hard one anymore.
Exactly. The problem being that the two yellow rocks in the front, they are frozen or nearly frozen. So if you come down from what is the left-hand side of the screen, it's a bit easier to get them moving. It also gives you a couple of options if you're a little bit wide.
It'll be ideal for her if she can drive these two red ones back and keep that red one in the forefoot instead of springing in the open. If it springs in the open, Wang will just have another hit and roll into the forefoot. Victoria Moiseeva, first rock here in the first end. Oh, she takes the guards. If you're going to hit the guards, you got to move all of them.
Yeah, you do. Now I think we will see Wang just replacing the guard.
Oh, yeah. And that yellow one's now in a better position to cut off the left side, as we see here. So she'll just have to cut off the right side now. And Moiseeva's dug herself a bit of a hole here in the first end. Well, not just a bit, big hole.
Oh yeah, definitely. As it looks now, if Wang places her guard in the right spot, she will have to draw the. Well, you can't draw the button, but you may draw the forefoot and maybe score or try to cut them down to one.
All the yellow rocks are all biting or in the forefoot.
Here we go, Wang with her last zone in the first end.
Well, she's happy to throw two guards in the first end of the game.
Oh yeah.
That's what skips should be doing, throwing guards or hitting the forefoot.
Exactly, and you're always happy if you can play more or less the same rock again.
This is although it's over curling too, they're not quite icing enough. Just left a little opening there, and it's a little hard. It needed to be a little wider and a little.
And we've seen that constantly now from both teams in the beginning of the end and now towards the end as well. Guards and draws tend to be a little over curling. So the icing they give it tends to be a little on the shy side.
Which is a little surprising because it's been like that all weekend. I've been here since Thursday.
It's been what we will call in Bern classical Stefan ice. The iceman from Bern, he likes to make very curly ice. Always swings a lot.
So the only record I have of these teams facing each other was a year ago at this same event. And Wang won that by a score of 4-1.
We see now Victoria Moiseeva, she's decided to draw down to the 4-foot. She's got a little backing there. But here the line is really important. If you're a little wide, then that's it, you give up 3. If you're a little tight, you give up 3 as well. So pressure shot for the Russian skip.
It's a big one. Wants to cut them down. Got enough weight. Doesn't have the line. Got lots of weight. Oh, it's got a curl. Well.
3 to China. Stole 3 in the first end.
Chinese off to a quick start here.
They are.
3.
And that's exactly the reason why you normally don't leave that many rocks lying around in the first end. Just if something goes wrong at your end, then you can find yourselves in trouble really early on.
I don't mind the aggressive play, but I think Victoria should have been bailing a little earlier than she did. And here we see the score of 3 in the first. Actually a steal of 3 to give the Chinese an early 3-0 lead. Of course, there's 7 ends to play, lots of game left, and on swingy ice, always a good opportunity to come back again. If you want results of all the other games or the past games or any of the other events going on, worldcurl.com. That's your address, and don't forget to like us on Facebook. And we're into the second end. Moiseeva, she had the shortest way to the playoffs. She had 4 games. She beat Wichonka from Switzerland, Matsumura, Japan, Muirhead from Scotland, Jackson from Scotland to get into the quarterfinals. That gave her yesterday a day off, and then she beat Anderson by a score of 4-2 in the quarterfinals. Moiseeva is ranked 27th. 27th on the world ranking. Team Wang is ranked 16th. Wang had a little bit longer route. They dropped 2 games, so they had to come up through the sea road. They played a total of 7 games to get to the quarterfinals, so 3 more games than
the Russians
had to play. Yeah, so that's another 6 hours, and a couple of those went into extra ends, so they certainly got their money's worth this weekend. So, but good practice for the Chinese. So they beat Fleming, Hansen. No, they lost to Fleming. Beat Hansen. Lost to the Swiss junior team, Kaiser. Then they beat the world champions, Pats, Hegner, Kauster from Finland, and Verona. So they won their last 5 games in a row. So they're on a roll. And they're off to a good start here, beating Muirhead in the extra end in the quarterfinal. So I think Wang's just getting warmed up here.
It seems so, and we've got already 2 rocks in the house again. You saw the Russians throw up the corner guard.
And now they're playing a takeout on this, and now maybe they should be going around that corner guard. We'll see if they get used to that. Oh, nice roll though. It's not always the easiest way to get behind that guard. It's a great shot. It's not the easiest way to get behind the guard.
You can see a little bit of it, so China will go straight after the rock in the house. Touched the guard, took that off. Not too bad a result either. The Russian team now calling for a replacement of that guard. From that angle you can see the big swing at the end. This one too, from that angle looks like it's slightly overcurled.
Yeah, you don't want to get them started here. You roll them over, they'll take off on you pretty hard. Jinlin Yili. I hope I'm getting close pronouncing those names. Nice shot. You saw a great camera angle there, how close that came past the guard.
So Victoria Moiseeva seems to be calling for the freeze. Or the little tap back.
Well, it's got probably a freeze with that ice. Might be going around the corner, maybe. Draw around the corner, get hidden. Try to force something there.
She may be afraid that if she does so and China closes off the middle again, she's in trouble. But I agree, I would have
she can't cover both of those rocks. So.
This one overcurling by miles.
Yep. That's not gonna help her too much. So Sidorova scores 2 in the first against Sinclair in the other semifinal to take a 2-0 lead. Yansu. This entire team is out of Harbin.
They used to live in Canada, though.
Well, they spent a lot of time in Canada. You might as well, yeah, might as well live there. They did spend a lot of time there, training and practicing. So this Moiseeva team, they're a combination of Kaliningrad and St. Petersburg. Do you know where Kaliningrad is, Michael?
Kaliningrad, that's on the Eastern Sea, close to the Baltic countries, I believe. That's one. It used to be called Königsberg.
That's right.
Used to be owned by the Prussians
Not
back
bad.
in the day.
Not bad for a lawyer. They teach a little history too.
They do.
There's a nice shot. Moiseeva. Yeah, it's a little Russian enclave between Poland and Lithuania. Totally separate from the main part of Russia. And you're right, it's right on the Baltic Sea. Great summer tournament there every year. Svetlogorsk, which is just on the coast where Kaliningrad is.
So that may be something for all those of you who like to go curling in summer.
Oh, absolutely. Wonderful place. Oh, great, and they put on a great tournament there. Wow. Chinese just jamming up the house here. Good chance, though, to double these out and maybe even triple. She hits it right in the middle. She might get all three without touching her own. That'd be a great shot.
Yeah, she might.
Just has to hit the left one on the inside a bit. Gotta hit the inside one first. Oh, just hit it too much. Almost had it, but moved him off the forefoot, so good shot. And I think she's protecting her own. Eh? She sat in front of it. Yes, she did. Yeah, here we see it. So nicely done. She needs a couple of good shots. The Chinese are just, they got their draw weight down.
They certainly do. So they're now trying to freeze the red rock. What do they want to achieve, Armin?
I think they're trying to draw another one and maybe corner freeze onto the red one that's on in front of that yellow one.
Gotta be careful though not to set up a double or a triple there.
Well, guarding it, there's still that one off the left, so I didn't quite catch the call. Betty will try and, I think she's trying to draw into the forefoot here. They seem to have had the forefoot weight down really good. So freeze right on top of the red one. That's the call. Oh, over curls a bit. Oh, she gets a fortunate rub there and lines him up nicely. Well, everything seems to be working for Team Wang. Harbin, famous for their winter ice sculptures. Going on right now, I think. Minus 1,000 degrees. It's cold up there. Close to the Russian border in north part of China, northeast.
If she hits this right, she will get a double and maybe move the...
Might get triple too.
Yeah.
Move the back one away. Yeah. Oh, Victoria will need to do something here because she's looking. Oh, she's tight again on that.
And that's swinging a lot.
She might hit her own. Oh. Yeah. Here's the question: how do I not mess this situation up? Maybe you don't want to put it in the wrong place, huh? I think anything she throws out front will be
fine.
Will be fine, and Moiseeva's just not thrown clean at the moment.
The question is she line 1 or 2? Probably
Two.
line 2.
She's line 2. That's pretty clear. Look at the back of the rock. You
Yeah,
see
you're
a lot,
right,
A lot
you're
more
right.
blue at the back of the second rock, Chinese rock.
还是4区5区这块儿哈。行。用那个紧外边点吗？啊？刚才是这个点用紧外边吗？刚才最外边的点。啊？刚才不是最外边的点吗？不是。你就放到最外边就行。
So here we go, judging from the ice, it's just covering the yellow on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I think anywhere out front you want. I think she's trying to cover both. She's trying to cover the takeout on the right.
On the right as well,
Right side, because I'll spring the back red one and the red one's shot, and at the same time, maybe cover the inside of the rock on the left to take away the draw. So she's trying to split those. She'd rather have a rock that's double the size right now, I would think, of a normal curling rock. Get a really big guard. This is...
Needs to swing, it starts now.
Yeah, it's moving. They're taking it deep. Oh, I think she just has to touch the front yellow one and the red one's shot. That might get her out of that. I think they took that too deep. They should have left that higher.
I agree.
Cover that. I think she just has to. Yeah. I think touching the top, just pushing that red one back on the yellow, getting that red layout, getting the yellow one out of the back, will make that red one shot. But it's only for a 1. Yeah, it should be enough. She doesn't want to hit it too hard. She doesn't want to spring that out.
Exactly.
But I think if she hits anywhere on the half and outside of that top left yellow one,
then you're fine, and you only need a board weight takeout.
yeah, just need to move it out of the back yellow one out of the back of the 4-foot. No more. Just 2 rock lengths.
Exactly. So if you're not playing curling yourself and asking yourself what is board weight, that's basically throwing the rock that it goes a little bit further than the rink down to the board behind the rink. So
board is too much here already. Back line.
Back line.
Even
hack.
Maybe hack at most. Board is almost too much, I think. Well, this ice, I think hack. She's probably playing hack. Just a very quiet hit. Get him on the scoreboard.
This one's got quite a bit of weight on it.
Needs to make contact. I think she can hit it pretty well anywhere. She's got it.
Yeah. Here we go.
Is it enough though? Ooh. Uh-oh. It looks yellow. See, the red one did spring a little bit to the left, didn't it?
It did.
Instead of she needed to spring to the right a bit. I think she had to hit the yellow one on the outside and not on the inside. Let's see this again. You can see where it hit, where the rock connects. I think it over curled. Oh, she did hit it on the outside. It moved straight back. In that case, it wasn't enough.
They've called for a measure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Michael, any wagers? That's looking really close, actually.
It does. You also saw that the skips took a look as well, and they couldn't figure it out either. So now you've got the measuring device coming in. As this is not a official championship, but a World Curling Tour event, the teams will measure themselves.
That's an official World Curling Tour event. And we see the needle moving there, so it just needs to move more to be yellow. Ah, camera. Well, it's yellow, okay.
By quite a margin.
Yes, by quite a margin.
So after 2 ends, it is 4-0 for Team China. Wang from Harbin against Victoria Moiseeva, and she hails from St. Petersburg. Actually, looking at the curling clubs they represent, the Russian team has 2 members from St. Petersburg Curling Club, then Kaliningrad, and then there's 2 that play for the Curling Club of Sochi, which is in a completely different part of Russia, actually. If you have just joined us, you're watching live coverage from the Bernese Ladies Cup. That is the 50th edition of this tournament, live from Bern, Switzerland, from the Curling Bahn Almend. And with me is Armin Harder, and my name is Michael Schifferle. You're watching the semi-final between the Chinese team of Wang against the Russian team of Victoria Moiseeva. Victoria Moiseeva is down 4-0. China is leading. Stole 3 in the first end, stole another one in the second end. Russians just struggling a bit with their precision.
Chinese team Wang, they're ranked 17th on the world ranking. Moiseeva 27th. About 350 teams on the world ranking at the moment.
So being 27th, you said?
Yeah, 27th. Top 50 is fine.
It's fine, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. There's about 750 on the men's ranking. Wang's got, and you're 17th on the ranking with 2 tour victories. They won the Women's Masters in Basel. There's only 1 tour victory.
And here we go, a repetition of last end. The Chinese throwing to the button and then placing another one at the top of the 8-foot. And the Russians have now decided to make a play on that Yellowstone. Probably looking for the roll again.
Yeah, I think the Russians really need to get into some rocks, into some shot positions and force the Chinese to play some takeouts, change up their rhythm a bit, because right now their draws are just perfect. They're making everything. Again, I might have gone behind this corner guard. This is over curling again. Those shots are just too easy for the Chinese. Moiseeva's had quite a season. Oakville Classic, Canada. Third at the Arctic Cup in Dudinka, way up in the north. So 2 victories in Canada on the tour.
And she cruised through the field here, but
She did, yep.
at the moment it looks like
Got her work cut out for her.
definitely.
Chinese had a slow start, but certainly winding it up.
Here we see Galina Arsenkina. Russian second.
Воу, свип! Воу! Маленький ролл. Да-да-да, да-да-да, да-да-да.
She gets a nice roll.
Yeah.
It's a really nice rock.
And not only that, those spread those two yellow ones back behind the tee line, which is really good. This will change the end a bit. That was a great shot. Forces Wang now to remove the guard. Let's see how they do playing some hits. Even Betty's got to have a laugh. What? Wasn't she was just trying to clear that?
But you take what you get.
Yeah, well, if she doesn't take the back one, it's actually a bad shot because that guard is still at front. But being that she took the one in the house too. But with those two yellow rocks behind the tee line now, they've got a bit something they could build on. Get around that guard in front of that yellow shot. It's got a lot of curling to do. Don't want to take it too deep. Whoa. Nah, that was too deep. Needed to curl a bit more, and you went a little bit shorter.
The important thing in that end will be for Moiseeva to actually get on the board. But she would like to score two and keep herself in the game.
Pretty well has to score two. The angle on that is not so good for Moiseeva. Yansu come around, hit this on the nose.
Here we go, spreading out the rocks.
Moiseeva's got the same shot. Don't play the hit and roll. That's the shot right there. Good call.
In that situation, it's important to stay before the tee line, isn't it?
That's right. And those rocks behind the tee line aren't really... The danger rock for Moiseeva is the guard, but she needs the guard. Needs to use the guard. The rocks behind the tee line don't affect her too much. She's got last rock advantage. They're way off this. This line is... It's got no line at all. She's either not getting the ice right or they're flaring the rocks a bit. Needs to curl more.
This one has some curling to do as well. But removes the rock. So now attempt number 3 of going behind the guard.
Yeah, is she giving the same ice again? Or did she tighten it up? It looks like the same ice again. This one's a little bit shorter though. Lots of room. The angle's better. They get it into the 4 foot. It's a perfect shot. There you go. Best shot of the game so far for... Oh, not quite. There was a hit and roll earlier. That was good. That gave the opportunity to draw in front of them. That's right. You see what that did? It forces Betty to make a tougher shot. She seems really confident at the moment. Didn't waste any time looking at this.
Exactly. Well, she can afford it if ideally she makes the run back, but even if she just clears the guard, if she gives up 2, it's not the end of the world. But if she can stick the race takeout, then she really puts the pressure on.
Must be close. Oh, it just touches it.
Просто сюда это вообще. Конечно, если бы мы вот так сделали, вот так, но это все равно по двойной.
Well, let's see if
Мне кажется, что
Moiseeva can take advantage of this.
Ну, у нас уже особо.
It's not ideal.
Потому что просто тебе, если сюда
He has to draw behind the guard, but
ну вот так у нас, если что, есть.
setting up a double is a danger here.
Камня, да? Постараться подвести лучше.
Нам можно под треть камня завести. Да, либо можно вот сюда по открытию. Вот чуть-чуть сюда.
Так
They're
неплохо.
talking about the right stone positioning to avoid the double.
Согласна, но надо что-то делать.
And the thing to keep in mind is also Wang would have a hit and draw on the red on the left hand side. The red would stick in the back of the forefoot, but she would be on the button behind cover.
Смотри в конец или параллельно. Лучше чуть-чуть ниже, если что. Вообще надо.
Well, she doesn't have a choice here. She's got to try and get around that guard and at least get into second shot position. And then just hope for a miss or a half shot to make her 2.
Возможно, так не придет, лучше чуть-чуть пошире, чтобы он стоял. Ну, не в упор, а вот немножко.
Вид!
Мы не возили
Вид!
даже. Ну, давайте 7-5, 7, да?
Still having that.
Вита!
А, да.
Можно, конечно, еще тэп, просто приблизоваться к нему.
Вот так, типа.
Да,
Но если
чуть-чуть
сделать
толкнуть,
чуть-чуть неровно, то...
и будет 2 сверху. Но будет хуже один.
Да, и я поняла.
New idea.
Просто, конечно,
Да-да.
если я сделаю неровно, ну, если я в эту сторону сделаю неровно, ничего страшного.
Да, только вот этот, который мы толкнем, будет хуже.
В принципе, все равно... Ну, она может...
Well, you can see how concerned they are about setting up, not wanting to set up a double.
А если вот так, то ей легко снимать,
But
да?
if she comes down with the in-turn on this side,
Вот так вот чуть-чуть толкнуть.
either way,
Да. Что мы вот там не знаем, как вести вес. Но единственное, даже если мы куда-то вот сюда, у нее здесь
Вот
много
просто вот так, да,
подставок.
если вот сюда его толкнем.
Давай. Смотри. Я вам
well,
сейчас
they're changing the
стояла,
call. They want to tap that back a bit.
и он
Pretty well have to tap it back if they're going to draw.
То есть
Да.
тэпать.
Но тебе надо чуть-чуть сильнее тела накинуть.
Вот так тогда? Или побольше еще?
Это чуть побольше
Давай.
осталось.
И если вдруг что, тогда туда завезем.
Да, вот здесь можно
It's a
даже
lot of
побольше
ice for a
покатить.
tap back.
Окей.
Yeah.
Но это не точно.
They just want to freeze to the top of it. They got to make sure they're second shot, though. And they don't want to offset them because if they're, they have to be lined up perfectly. If they're offset a little bit,
Ну так же 7, да?
Then you're just inviting the double.
yeah,
Там может, конечно, но я думаю,
I
что
should rather get to the inside a little bit. Certainly not the outside. Well, we'll see in a second here. It's not an easy situation. Moiseeva desperately looking for 2 points here somewhere.
Бекон! Оу! Воу!
Воу, воу. Легко.
Контроль! Галя пока!
Галь, Галь. Галь.
Doesn't want to knock her own out.
Вообще не
That
свалил.
didn't help her much. Chinese want to be really aggressive here. Out turn draw to the button. Maybe in turn draw.
Yeah, the out turn draw would be really. If here you've
The
got
angle's a tough one. I think the out turn draw, just right behind the. I'm not sure where she's going here with this. I mean, she can get to the same spot with the in turn draw, I suppose. This is wide. It's got to curl a lot.
it also seems a bit heavy.
Well, they're sweeping for the rub now. Just want to bank off that and roll in. It's only second shot. That didn't curl enough for them.
So now the chance for Victoria Moiseeva to draw one to the button.
Needs full 4 foot.
Полностью в 4, а сейчас было 7-5, да? 7, да? Ну, вообще вот типа такого, наверное, веса. Да, да. Я думаю, что хорошо. Ну, сделаем так, а там...
Только вес.
Вот сейчас внимательно пошел
Пока
подваливать.
прямо. Пошел
Свет!
валить, да? Пошел валить. Сильно валят. Сильно валят.
Sweeper staying off
Сильно
there.
валят. О, только вес. Нельзя свой коснуться.
Here we go.
Perfect.
Picking up two, reducing,
Офигеть, свалил. Вот
cutting the
так.
Chinese lead to
Просто вот сюда.
2 rocks. Now being
Ага.
2 behind.
Ну, так
China still leading 4-2.
Ладно, теперь
And they get the hammer back, of course.
первый привезем 25.
They will have the hammer for the first time actually.
That's right. Yeah. Stole twice. That's correct.
我感觉能下来，但是没下来。
That'll help their steal percentages.
Meanwhile, on the other sheet, Jamie Sinclair from the US having ranked the second end and picked up 3 in the third end and now leading Anna Sidorova from Russia 3-2.
Storming back 3 points.
Тогда в сторону единиц такой.
I think in this tournament, the Chinese have a very high steal percentage.
Пока 6.
They've needed it to get out some of the games that they've been in.
6.
Yeah, they're all around 40% steal efficiency, which is pretty good.
Кажется, давали сам, да.
5.
Ага, давай
5.
вот сюда тогда. Тогда уже в дом, да-да-да. Ну, в смысле, следующий.
And their hammer efficiency is only at 40% though.
Я 0 был.
See what Moiseeva can do with a hammer. Their hammer efficiency is also just around the 40% mark. That means they've had the hammer. They've only made 2 points or more 40% of the time,
下线啊，要擦下线。
which
Well-
is
后缺。
not really that good.
擦不够。
Exactly, and if you're around with those percentages, then you need to have your steal percentage up. Otherwise, you won't survive a lot of games.
Great force efficiency though. They forced the other team into taking a single over 60% of the time when they've tried it. It's a good stat. We started with 32 teams in this competition.
Хотя нет.
5 world champions
Лучше Уля, смотрите
Пока
внимательно.
сам.
at the beginning
3.
were also involved.
Хорошо, хорошо.
And there's only one former world champion left in the playoffs, and that's Wang. Sidorova and Moiseeva both have been European champions. And Sidorova's also got a few world medals,
That she does.
but not the gold one.
And Sinclair, at least in Bern, is a new name. I think she has made the playoffs before.
调查底线差6区，6区。
Only 25 years old, so
Still lots of time left.
that's a very young player. And if you look at the winners of this Bern ladies, and there's the who's who of curling on that list, going right back, starting in 1968. When it skipped a few years in the 70s, it wasn't taking place. But there's names on there. Erika Müller, one of the former world champions from Switzerland, going way back.
Только вес, только вес.
Linda Moore, Heather Houston,
Можно свип, свип!
Только линия.
Sandra Schmerler, Miriam Ott, Norberg,
Гоу!
Gustafsson, Kelly Law,
Так.
Colleen Jones, Rona Martin,
Супер.
Jennifer Jones,
Молодец.
Clybrink, Tiransoni, Muirhead, Pats.
It's quite a list. And if you look at that, I think this year one thing we can already say is it's not a Swiss team that's going to win.
No, the defending champion, Alina Pats, she went out very early. She didn't even make it to the quarterfinals. No, one Swiss team in the quarterfinals, and they were knocked out after the third end, I think, this morning. They didn't even show up for the game, actually. Wasn't a very good one from Felcher.
Я бы сказала
Хорошо,
посильнее.
может немножко уже, чем прошлый.
Похож. Пока контакт. Контакт.
Дай тогда.
Слабит.
Можно.
Здесь можно.
Делать, да, свип! Делать вес.
Здесь
Давай,
есть.
давай, 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 давай. О, легче,
Вес
легче,
есть.
легче, легче, легче. Стой. Найс.
Well,
Хорошо.
Here we go. 2 behind cover.
that one just slid a bit too far. But Chinese won't waste time. Binny Wang asking for a clearing.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
Nice shot, getting
She
rid of her.
She just waited for that to curl. She could have swept it and just cleared it, but Betty patiently waited for that to curl up and managed to take one out and move that other one back of the forefoot.
这还行。Он достается все равно.
The Chinese seem to be firmly in the driving seat of the game. Very confident at the moment.
I think she should ignore that rock and just put up the center line guard.
Да, да, да. Я понимаю.
I agree, but looking at the ice,
Я за 0.
she's probably
Yeah, she's trying to cover that back one, but she's not going to steal with that shot.
Хорошо.
But she doesn't have to go full out here because she's only down 2. There's still 7 ends left, so
Давайте, Галя.
just make sure she doesn't give up
Валить. Валить.
2.
Давайте,
Вали,
давайте,
вали, вали,
еще
вали,
чуть-чуть.
Еще немножко, еще немножко. Давай, давай,
I
давай.
don't really like this
Давай,
call.
еще чуть-чуть, еще. Супер. Молодец.
The problem here is, as you said before, if you want to steal, you need something at least biting the button, and that's not even biting the forefoot.
No, this Betty's just happy to draw around this herself and get in front of that red one.
Exactly.
And they've certainly been drawing well all game so far.
7 OK 7 7下了 OK 7擦擦点线 OK 2 7 whoa 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 whoa.
This
It's
one's
gonna
gonna
come down. It's a little heavy. Yep.
Nice shot.
Nice shot. That was Chinese.
14 秒
This now gives a chance for Moiseeva to freeze onto that one.
Только вперед. Внимательно вес. Воу. Тогда ждать, тогда ждать. Делать вес, делать вес. Линия
From that
супер,
angle
линия
you can
будет.
see how much of a curl you have. So
Давай, 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 давай. Внимательно вес, внимательно вес. Да, да, да. Да, 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 да. Хорош, супер. Сори, я вас немножко
just missed it a little bit. Should have stayed with the sweeping. But still,
I like that shot. It's a good shot. Sitting in a pretty nice position. Might be able to pick it out, but you'll be able to throw it same one again. Down to last third's rocks. And we're working it. That'll move some granite around.
Here we go. Clean house.
Broom is trying to escape.
So if you're Russia, what do? Put up another guard?
Well, I think now you're down the last couple of rocks. I think you got to be careful you don't give up a deuce here. You don't mind giving up one. Still a fourth end. You give up one. That'll make it 5-2. You make two, and it's 5-4, and it's game on again.
Yeah.
So lots of game left. So I don't think you want to. You've got no center guards up. Well, that's not, that red one's not really a center guard. It's just off center. I think I'd just play a hit.
Depends a bit whether China lies 1 or 2.
That's, yeah, well, look, yeah.
They had a look at it. I believe it's only 1.
Well, if it's only 1, I would certainly play the hit. Yeah. 2, you might, if they're sitting 2, then you might debate this shot. But I wouldn't come down to the back of this. I would just play directly behind the red now. Try and get buried. This looks like a quiet hit, though. I should probably be playing a hack weight hit at it. I like this call. This is alright. You've only got 2 rocks left. In the end, we're down to Skip's first rocks. If we can force the Chinese to take one, that's alright. Nice shot.
Here we go.
It's really key. It's really key now. Who's second shot? That's for sure. Oh, it looked like they pointed at the red one. If I saw that indication by anything.
So this looks like another hit. Wang with her first rock in the fourth end. Looking for a quiet hit.
往还可以，往大甩拍
Here we go. Make the shot, but didn't get the roll. So now Victoria Moiseeva has an open hit. She will be looking for a little roll, ideally, and then trying to force Betty Wang to either draw the button or play a quiet hit around the guard to get her one.
So this, I think the red one shot, and it looked like the Chinese had indicated or pointed to it to say that it was. That means that Betty's forced to hit this and stay to make one. Maybe we'll have a measure too. Hard to say. I think it's red. It's close.
It's close, it certainly is.
At least from our perspective. Yeah, can't see from there either. We're just guessing. I thought I saw the Chinese third pointing at the red rock. Well, certainly one yellow for sure. And they apparently know if it was second or not because they're clearing off the rocks. So there will be no measure on it. And we'll have to wait to see when the,
when the score goes up
before we can tell you what it was. I think it was only one, but I've been wrong before.
That would make the score 5-2.
Yeah, no, if you're the Russian team, you just put a good clean end in, score 2, and it's game on again.
Exactly. If you can in your mind play that on. Makes it 5-1, and then score 2 makes it 4-5. Force the others again. 6-4. Score again. 6-6. But that's the theory. And we can now tell you that it was a score of 1. They have put up the score on the scoreboard. So the Chinese opening up.
We knew it all along.
Yeah, we did.
It's really important here now for the Russian team to put a good end together, score 2 or more, make this game close again. Now that's, I hope, a corner guard ice and not takeout ice. That looks like a guard weight. Yes. Although she's been consistently throwing up that corner guard, she hasn't always used that corner guard, except with a difficult hit and roll, as opposed to a draw.
Maybe that's the way it's played in Russia. But you're right, it would be much easier to just draw behind.
Yeah. I mean, every once in a while you get a hit. They did have one hit and roll that was really good that last 2 ends ago. That worked. But unfortunately, they don't work that often. The Chinese lead has been very consistent. Ying Yi Ma, or as they would say in China, Ma Ying. Ma Ying Yi. I'll start with the last name first. That's great weight. Good shot. It's very Chinese. Nice shot.
So I'm hoping she draws behind now.
No, she's going for that hit and roll again. This is so difficult. I think she could leave that, you know, either put up another corner guard on the other side, or if you're going to draw, try and draw around, use that guard, try and get buried behind it. The Chinese will have to make a play on the guard.
Yeah.
And then you have an opportunity to take a, you know, take a shot at that. You can delay it for another couple of rocks too, but you know, you got to get into, you got to get a rock into scoring position, and I think this way is so difficult. This way it works sometimes, and this looks pretty nice too, but it's rolling too far. That's the difficulty with that shot. That roll too far, too easy to remove. Now, if you draw, you know you can get behind it a lot easier.
A lot easier it is. It's exactly that. Those hit and rolls are so difficult, especially on
well, if it's curling, like so
that swingy ice.
Oh, Russian's got a break here. Hit and rolling out. Now show, because that's rock is behind the tee line. She's going to call the draw now. This is a really big shot. This is important. It's one of those key shots in the game. Opportunity to set up a deuce.
Exactly.
So it's got to be there.
That started to curl.
Oh. They just
It
missed the sweep on that. I think it looked like it grabbed something. Maybe just, you know, they don't need to. You don't really need to be tight by that guard with a curl. You can leave yourself some room.
Oh yeah,
Make sure you're safe. You got to be around it though.
If you're tight with that guard, then you're gonna show on the other side.
Probably come out the other side too. Yeah. That was one missed opportunity.
I think you should still just draw down.
Well, I don't mind a tap here. You don't need to roll too far. It's a little easier than the one earlier. And with the angle on that, you might, you know, move that one off the forefoot too. I don't mind that call. But you don't want to. I don't think you want to throw like really hard at this. You want to throw a control weight. But she's going after the one in the forefoot now. I don't think that's the play. That's behind the tee line, that rock. She hits and rolls here. She's behind the tee line too. And that doesn't really help her. Nose hit. That's just eating up rocks.
It is. And looking at how the Chinese are playing, you have to force the difficult rocks from them. Otherwise, you're not gonna get back in the game.
Make these all day. She's moving.
线这块儿，这面直，你这纸儿。
So now she's playing what we actually were hoping she was playing before. She's now forced to attack that second rock.
Свип! Свип держать! Да, давай, 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 давай.
This one really curling again. Would have liked to roll, but that just leaves the Chinese again. An easy hit, roll to the middle. So we are down to third stones. Yang Shu with the last rock in the fifth end. Doesn't get the roll she would have liked to get. And now Victoria indicating another hit and roll with a good opportunity to actually get behind cover. Yuliana Vasileva, the third, throwing that rock. And not getting the roll either. So Binyu Wang, or as she's known on the tour as Betty, she will now look for the hit and roll. And as she indicated to her third, she's basically got two options. She could roll behind cover, or she could just roll to the other side and try to force the hit on her own.
I think she'd prefer to hit and roll away. She wants to get away from the corner guard. Didn't roll enough. Oh. Now the Russians, if they want to score two, they need a roll.
Not sure.
Not playing normal hit, that's for sure. Play some sort of down weight hack, unless she's drawing behind that yellow one. With that ice.
With that ace she may, because that's too much for a hit and roll.
Usually if she was going to play at that rock, you'd be putting that broom somewhere next to the rock. And she's got it on the tee line, which indicates to me she's probably drawing. And it looks like she might be trying to draw around that yellow rock that's in the top of the 12-foot. Certainly looking that way. And there's enough curl here to get buried, so just a little heavy. A lot heavy. Betty's just going to draw down the top of this, or at least try to.
Key for the...
I like the idea. It was all right to draw there to try and get that in the corner, but can draw it down on top of this. That'll just, no. Needs to be frozen. Might be a double there if she doesn't get it perfect. And Wang with her last rock here in the 5th end. 5-2 lead over Moiseeva. Well, there's a double for 2.
Didn't get the curl she wanted.
No. I think you have to do this. You're down 3. So these two teams will be facing each other next month in Pyeongchang. Both representing their countries at the Olympics.
They will, together with, I think it's a 10-team field.
10-team field, yeah.
And to get here, Betty Wang, the Chinese team, they beat the Eve Muirhead from Scotland, who will be representing Great Britain at the Olympics as well.
That's correct.
There's 1 or 2 other teams here that will head to the Olympics, so for them it was a good warm-up to face each other again.
Of course, the Russians will be in neutral uniforms, or Olympic uniforms, but we know who they are.
Exactly. Doesn't sound too good.
No, she threw it pretty hard too. She didn't give her sweepers a chance on that. And with that, jam. That's just another steal for the Chinese team. And after 5 ends of play, the score is 6-2 here at the Bern International Bern Ladies Cup, or Damen Cup as they say here.
From Bern, they had their 50th anniversary this year, the Damen Cup. They had a big celebration last night with all the teams.
I heard it was quite interesting.
Oh, they had everything going, a couple of things that you should say on air as well.
I wasn't there, I don't know.
But that was good fun, good party.
Well,
going well after midnight for the teams that
had already exited the event, of course.
Exactly. The other teams, they were actually in bed by that time, which makes sense.
Of course. Lots of points, lots of world ranking points, and some money on the line here.
And just to give you an update on the other semi-final, you may remember Anna Sidorova from Russia went ahead with 2 and then got 3 back, and meanwhile she scored another 2, and the US team replied again with a score of 3, making that 6-4 for the US. Team Sinclair against the Russian team Sidorova after 5 ends of play.
So both Russian teams have their work cut out for them if one of them wants to come into the final. Or both. Well, they've been very good at putting up this first corner guard. They just haven't got much use out of it throughout the event, or throughout the game.
No, they didn't, but the Chinese also really playing well.
They're not missing a lot, but not being forced either. Not really being... And the lead here has had a sensational game. She has been perfect throughout. Ying-Yima. So important for those leads to get the rocks in the
The right position.
right positions. Of course, that first rock, she didn't really want to be back at the tee line. But this rock is certainly
Certainly much better.
much better. And again, this is White. Put up the corner guard. Use it, Victoria. Now she's drawing around.
I'm not quite sure what the,
Use the
what
corner
the thinking
guard.
is.
I don't know. No. Anyways, maybe they'll.
Apparently our telepathy isn't working.
It's like throwing a rock away. You throw it in the corner and then you don't use it. You might as well throw it all the way like that.
Exactly.
I see the temptation to be able to do this, but that's an easy shot to remove. Yellow onto red.
这上记得啊。猜猜呀！哦哟。
So that's in curling one of my pet peeves. Do you know what a pet peeve is?
No.
It's one of those things you really is irritating. Throwing up corner guards and then not using them.
And not using them.
Yeah.
Well, I can remember back in juniors, we had a coach who said exactly the same thing. He always told us, well, if you don't use it,
They throw it away.
Yeah,
Start with 6
exactly.
rocks. Of course, playing into the middle, that's exactly where
what the Chinese
Where
would
the-
like.
exactly where the Chinese want to keep the game, is in the middle, because that's really restricting your area. It's restricting your area where to draw to. It's making the takeouts easier for them.
This one over curling.
I mean, these are a piece of cake to remove. And it doesn't mean you're throwing bad. It's just
Yeah.
you're not getting them in any good positions.
If you want to force mistakes, then you have to make life difficult for the Chinese.
Well, a draw around the corner guard's an easy shot.
Exactly.
I mean, a perfect freeze on these center rocks or whatever, it's just so difficult. Any little bounce, and especially if you're looking at 4.3, 4 point lead, it's just, they can smack them. They don't even need to hang around, right? Kind of like this. Yeah, the Chinese don't need to throw perfect rocks anymore.
Exactly.
It
They
makes
can
the game
just
a lot easier.
cruise through the game as long as they make contact with the opposition rocks. They're fine.
Хорош. Без похож. Целуем. Давайте надо за. Линия будет, делать есть. Мне кажется, нет. За свипом. Да, давай. Не бросать тоже. Не бросать. Давайте, девчонки, идет супер. Давай. Не бросать.
I've watched a couple of these games from the Russians. They're really good at stealing. I mean, the quarterfinal games, I think they stole 3-4 in a row, and I think they had a few other games were stealing. So then I guess maybe you get hung up on that. You think you're successful there. Not something to do when you get the hammer. And once again, Chinese not needing to be perfect, although that was perfect. He takes out the backing. Now she is going around the corner guard. She's running out of rocks, though.
She's got 4 left. And now You can still make your deuce, but
Sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. But you're getting to a point where a deuce may not quite be enough.
Свип! О, вес, 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 выпрямился очень. Ага. Нет, все хорошо.
Could have left that one going.
Молодец.
Lots of room. Lots of weight.
Он как-то выпрямился и потом только начал снова валить.
now we will see the Chinese clearing away the guard.
Yeah.
The way the
well,
game
this is the way. If you do this 4 rocks ago, now they clear away the guard. You got an open hit and you're sitting 2.
Exactly.
That's what that's what you wanted to do.
101 of curling tactics.
101. Oh, she almost stopped that rock with her broom.
So judging from the ice, she's now looking for the freeze on the Chinese shot rock.
Казалось, посильнее, девочки.
The thing here is, again, it needs to be perfect, otherwise they will just blast it away.
Легче, легче, легче.
I don't mind the freeze now. I
you
wouldn't mind
have to.
going another. You've got the rock. You just drew one behind. It went behind the tee line. Why not draw another one? Oh, the corner guard's gone, of course.
Давай задний, вот, свип, свип, свип,
I
свип,
don't mind
свип.
this rock.
Хорошо.
Yeah, you're getting a little late to throw up another corner.
Мне казалось, что ногами я сильнее толкнулась. Ладно, спасибо.
It's made them think, anyways. She's going to try and pick it cleanly. Fire that rock up the center line. Might get a break here if it curls a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
Then the 3 would be on. Betty's been throwing well, certainly. The last half of this tournament, she's on fire. Gotta work it. That's curling.
It's curling.
Oh, nicely done. Threw it hard enough. But again, there's still a chance to make 2 here. Just have to make,
certainly.
make the rest of your shots, that's all.
Make 2,
Туда, если нет, стей.
then steal.
Yeah, then steal, right?
Steal, steal, go to the extra and steal again. That will be the
Try to
plan.
get steal 3 times in a row. Unless you steal it 4 or 5 in there. Not likely to happen.
Свип, да? Свип, да? Да-да-да, держать, 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 еще немножко, да-да-да.
She wants to stay out there. She don't want to roll in front of her own. That's a good shot. The double's there, but I'm not too sure if Betty will attempt that. You have to play it fairly thin, and you don't want to miss it. So
Exactly.
you got a 4-point lead. Just hit and roll in front of it. Make sure you remove one of those rocks. Not the time. Not the point in the game where you want to get fancy.
Certainly not. You can afford to give up 2 here.
Sure, easy.
Here we go. China's last rock in the 6th end. Hit and roll, no hit and stick, no problem there.
哎呀，我怎么有点迷的糊了呢？
And now the same for the Russians.
Well, she gets to throw the same rock she just threw, basically. That position of that rock hasn't changed, so she should know the path there. The weight, same ice. Might have tossed it out a little bit. Oh, she did. Ouch.
Oh dear.
That's too bad.
Сколько было? 0?
Just tossed it out a bit. It hangs with that kind of weight. And with that, they only take one. 6-3 in the sixth. They're after 6 ends of play. The Chinese now have a 3-point lead going into the last 2 ends with the hammer.
Where's the hammer? Yeah.
(6-3). 2 more ends to go here at the 50th International Bernese Ladies Cup. If you want to see results of this and any other tournaments, big mixed doubles tournament going on in Zoetermeer in Netherlands, the Dutch Masters. And I believe the Russian teams up there are in the playoffs, the world #1 ranked team. And don't forget to join us on Facebook or on YouTube. Subscribe. World Curling Tour next weekend, at least the European parts, the European events. They'll be in Glasgow for the Glyn Hill ladies. So most of these teams, or many of these teams, will be heading to Glasgow. And also the Meridian Canadian Open, the Grand Slam in Canada.
There's going to be a couple of teams also over there, probably.
Yeah, there'll be some of the top ranked teams will be there.
So and here we have seen the Russians opening with the center guard and the Chinese wanting to draw the back of the 8-foot on the outside of the rings. Just a little heavy on that one. Sweepers are working hard on that one. Seems to be a little short.
The men will be in Hamburg. And then at the end of the month, we'll have the Moscow Classic Open Air in Gorky Park. The only open air event on the tour. Always good fun. Draws quite a crowd. Lots of press.
Probably lots of warm clothes needed.
Well, it hasn't been too bad the last few years. The first time we did it on the Red Square. Well, we've done it on the Red Square a number of times. It was brutally cold. Gushi was there from Canada. It was minus 20 out there. It was bitter. But last few years it's been acceptable. It's always good fun though. They do a great organization too there with the Russian Curling Federation together and New League. New League Sports sponsors these teams here also. I think I saw a New League badge somewhere. Galina Arsenkina.
Пока контакт.
Уля все равно контроль. Уля контроль. Легко. Свип. 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 Давай, 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 давай. Ай, не прошли.
Just missed the sweeping call.
Yeah, I think so. That just kind of dug in. That's what you got to watch at the end of the game. You know, that's part of the sliding path where you're sliding out from the hack. So the pebble breaks down in the middle a little quicker than it would in other areas. So once the rock gets in there, you got to really be careful because the rocks will start digging in. It's a little flatter in that spot. It'll slow down quicker and maybe over curl.
11秒挡板力量。
Sweepers really need to be aware of that.
So now the Chinese are looking for a little inside roll of their own.
Well, I think they'd be happy to watch their yellow one on the button disappear right now.
力量大。OK。
Might be actually playing the center guard if I were the Chinese. This is looking a little wide. She might jam this back on her own. She does. Would have been better to remove the guard than do that. Well.
Нет. Мы подвинули.
Little break for the Russians. They can certainly use it.
Yeah, they need a couple more breaks too.
You can see the New League badge here on the right arm, on the throwing arm, I believe.
Yes, yes. Freeze.
I think they have that on the vest of their jacket.
Пока посильнее.
Только Ульяна.
Пока посильнее. Сабит.
Свип, Юля, свип, свип.
Зати.
Свип, свип, свип. Да, 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 да.
Looking for the little wrap, didn't get it. Oh, yeah.
11秒11秒52秒力量。
I'm surprised Betty's leaving that center guard out there. She should have removed that a little while ago, I think. That's the rock that's causing the problems. Without that center rock, without that center guard, there's no place to hide. This is looking like a nice shot, though.
Okay, nice shot.
It's new Chinese.
Exactly.
Вот так ей не пробить никак пока. Мы можем закрыть. Ну, либо сделать вот так наших, но она так может пробить.
Это не нравится мне.
Ну, сюда вести мне тоже не нравится, потому что он
Да.
прям, ну вот, да.
Я пожестче сделаю чуть.
Yeah, well, if you're Russia, you just want to throw something more up to protect your shot rock.
Добавила обращение.
Лучше Галя, если что. Хорошо,
О,
ничего.
как и вес.
О.
Пока пошире.
Не, нормально, нормально.
Валит, девочки, сам валит.
Больше ничего, больше ничего. Стой. Супер.
Here we go. Another center guard coming up.
I think you'll see Betty moving up to rip both of those. They're angled
把边
nicely.
稍微偏一点
Might
就
be able to
行。
get that and move a few other things around. But she definitely needs to open it up. Very good shot. I think that her shooter rolled quite a ways too, so that's good, really good.
Вот так? Да. Ну да, вот так привезешь и уже нехорошо.
Thing is, with no guards in front, she's playing into the house, I think.
Well, she could use another guard out there.
She could, yeah. No matter what you do, you always leave the Chinese options. But if you want to steal, you need something to protect your shot rock.
Давали точно. Можно.
Давайте поближе.
Не надо валить, Галя.
Просто поближе.
Looks like a guard.
Давай. Хорошо.
There you go.
Going for the straight takeout. If you hit it in exactly the right spot, you may also pick the shot rock. Not much room for error though.
Просто единственное, чтобы она не сняла два, иначе...
Если ты вот так вот, тут, конечно, высокий еще. Но вот если ты сюда привезешь, и она вот так попадет, то уже будет.
Да, согласна. 26-й тогда?
Мне кажется, что 20.
Давай.
Ну, если она здесь пробьет, у тебя гарды останутся.
Problem here for the Russians is
Пока сложно.
steal of one may actually not be enough.
No, they have to pretty well steal two.
Или у меня тогда хуже, да, подваливала? Давай вот.
But the positioning of that rock on the top of the forefoot, that yellow one's really cutting down their room.
Да, но она будет, скорее всего, если чтобы повторять бросок и выталкивать.
Да. Восемь, 5, 9. Или поменьше здесь даже. Но это с той стороны. Ну ладно, давайте 9, 9, 5. Ага.
Пока чуть пошире. Если что, Галя.
Кажется 5.
Галя.
Кажется больше на 5 похоже.
Давайте свип, отыграемся. Свип, свип. О, все прошли.
Here we go. Seems to have to curl quite a bit yet.
До конца, Галя. Еще надо. Еще,
Давай, еще немножко будет хорошо.
еще.
Спасибо. 9-5, да? И он так... Ага. Угу.
要把前面那个红球打开，下把再想怎么的把它找掉。先磕完15分，再把前面磕开，那也行。但是如果这个球
Chinese having a little team conference.
打开的话，他可能他往那儿投一个。
If you look at it from the Chinese point of view, they don't really mind giving up one, which would leave them the hammer going into the last end. But I think they are discussing what not to do, or what shouldn't happen.
Chinese have 2 rocks left.
不想这么选。
Moiseeva has only 1.
旋过去，磕又磕不太好，前面就轻开。你现在这球如果说磕旋过去，轻磕一下，
I think, right?
Yeah, you're right.
我想把前面打开，说一个，就是把这个打掉。
Oh, I think she's got to open up again. 'Cause
好，应该都有。
if she tries something, it doesn't work.
就是在再给对飞一些。好，
She
Exactly.
may have nothing with her last one, although, like you said, giving up one is not a big deal here. She just doesn't want to give up a deuce. Stealing 2 is. I don't see stealing 2 here right now either.
No, I think stealing 2 would need at least
Some-
one mistake.
You know, something's got to happen badly here for China to give up a steal at 2. That's why the safest shot now is just remove the guard, although she got that going. She might have been tight. Is she on the nose? Oh, 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 oh.
She nearly got
Almost-
lucky there.
Almost got the back one. She didn't rub her own on the top.
没开收好吗？
That was very close. She got that going a bit out of her hand. Hit that on the nose. Problem is, how do you get a second one in here? If you're a rush up.
Даже если я сделаю, он все равно открытый стоит. Ну, понятно, что если она
And it's a pretty easy run back on that yellow.
стоял. Я чуть-чуть больше еще стояла. Ага.
Ну,
Ну, не
я
доводить
вращение.
можно.
Я нормальное вращение.
Well, I guess you probably don't.
Protect it, steal 1, and try and steal 2 in the next end, I guess.
And yeah,
Hope you have a better setup.
Даже если мы сделаем двойной, наши как бы, ну, остаются открытыми. Это если мы делаем, они параллельно стоят. Вот. Да, гард. Можно как у Мульки стоял. Хорошо.
So it looks like just a guard here for Moiseeva.
Подождем.
Ой,
Пока
не, начало
прямо.
нельзя.
Пошел валить. Пока Галя. Можно
Не-не-не.
будет поближе чуть-чуть.
Всё, всё, всё.
there's the yard.
Все.
Все, все. 97, да, вы сказали? Ага.
You might as well play off your own.
Yeah.
That's the only shot you got. And that would be game over.
Certainly, yeah, that's a shot to play. If you make it,
Yeah.
just go 1 or 2. That's the
Oh,
game.
I think the gloves will be coming off then for sure. Just need to redirect.
直接就按这个点。行了哈。有。
So we'll be on with the final here also. In I can find out what time that will be. So marathon this morning. At 2:30.
So last rock in the 7th end here at the Bernese International Ladies Cup.
Oh, nice shot.
Oh, really nicely done.
And that will score a 2. And off come the gloves. And that's it for Moiseeva. Really got off to a tough start there. Just way a little over aggressive and
And
just
then the
waited too long to try and to bail out. Give up a steal of 3.
after a good quarterfinal. We had the really Chinese in the driving seat from the beginning on. So you've been watching live coverage from the Bernese Ladies Cup
We'll
from
have
here in
highlights of the game here
Switzerland.
shortly.
We'll have the highlights, and afterwards we will be back again for the final at 2:30.
That's right. In the other semi-final, that's all tied up at 6 apiece. Actually, we can tell you in a second what the 7th end was, if they put up the score. Here we see the final result of ours, 8-3 for
Wang from China.
And they move into the final.
She got off to a good start with a steal of 3. Never let go.
And we'll see highlights of that shortly. WorldCurl.com, and again, we'd like to thank the World Curling Tour. We'd like to thank the World Curling Federation, World Curling TV for partnering in this. And here we has one more end to go. We'll post it as soon as we know. We'll have Binyu Wang against the winner of Sinclair or Sidorova game, Michael Schifferle, and myself, Armin Harder. We'll be with you in about an hour's time. So time for a quick lunch, and we'll see you in a few. Thank you.